Have you ever wondered why so many people who earn huge salaries still feel anxious, stressed, or even broke, while others with modest incomes live peacefully, steadily building wealth year after year? Have you seen people win the lottery and lose everything in a few years, while someone else invests small amounts month by month and becomes financially free over time? Across history and across cultures, the same pattern repeats. Money doesn't obey logic, it obeys behavior. And human behavior is shaped by emotions: fear, desire, ego, envy, optimism, and insecurity. The psychology of money reveals a truth more powerful than any financial formula. You do not need to be brilliant to become wealthy. You only need to develop strong financial behavior. Today, you will hear the book's lessons chapter by chapter in a storytelling style that guides your mind, motivates your heart, and encourages you to rethink your relationship with money forever. Chapter 1. No one's crazy. Everyone carries a personal history with money, a history built from thousands of moments, emotions, and memories. The way you think about money today did not appear from nowhere. It was shaped quietly, slowly, and deeply by your childhood, by the environment you grew up in, and by the people who influenced you. If you were raised in a home where money was always tight, where bills were a constant worry, then every dollar you earn today probably feels precious, almost fragile. You may save carefully, avoid risks, and feel nervous when something unexpected happens. But if you grew up in a stable home where money was always available, you may see money as something normal, something that arrives without fear. You might take risks more easily because you never learned to fear financial loss. These differences create completely different money behaviors, even if two people earn the same amount. When someone sees the stock market as exciting, it may be because they once profited from it. When another sees it as dangerous, it may be because they watched a parent lose their savings. These are not signs of intelligence or stupidity. They are reflections of personal experience. That is why judging other people's financial decisions is often unfair. You may think someone is careless or someone else is too cautious, but in reality, both are simply acting according to what life has taught them. Understanding this truth helps you become kinder to yourself and to others. It removes the pressure of comparison, because comparison ignores the invisible experiences behind every financial choice. The powerful message of this chapter is that your financial behavior makes sense when you understand your past. But your past does not limit your future. You can rewrite your habits, reshape your beliefs, and build a healthier relationship with money. Your story so far may explain who you are, but it does not decide who you can become. Chapter 2. Luck and Risk. Life is a mixture of things we control and things we can never control. Yet most people forget this. They believe every success came from hard work alone, and every failure came from personal mistakes. But the truth is more complex. Luck and risk play silent roles in every story. You can work extremely hard and still fail because of bad timing, unexpected events, or circumstances beyond your reach. And you can also succeed far beyond your efforts because life opened a door you didn't create. When we look at someone successful, we often admire their intelligence, discipline, or talent. But we rarely see the hidden factors that helped them: the supportive mentor, the right opportunity, the early exposure to technology, or the stable environment that allowed them to take risks without fear. These invisible advantages shape outcomes more than we think. A famous example is Bill Gates. He was incredibly smart and hard-working, but millions of brilliant students existed at the same time. What made him different was access to one of the world's rare early computers at his school, a chance less than 1 in a million. That extraordinary luck helped him start young, learn faster, and explore the world of software before others even knew it existed. On the other hand, another equally talented person may never have had that opportunity simply because of where they were born or what school they attended. This does not mean achievement is meaningless. It means achievement is never achieved alone. Understanding luck teaches humility. You stop boasting about your success as if you created every part of it. Understanding risk teaches forgiveness. You stop blaming yourself harshly when things go wrong. You begin to appreciate the complexity of life. You stop copying others blindly because you realize their journey was shaped by experiences you cannot see. Instead of chasing perfect opportunities, you focus on steady progress. Because in the long run, life rewards consistency more than luck. And the strongest person is the one who keeps going, even when luck is uncertain. Chapter 3. Never enough. There is a silent struggle that many people face, the feeling that no matter what they achieve, it is still not enough. A person can earn more than their parents ever earned, live in a house their younger self would have seen as luxury, or reach a position others admire, and yet still feel a restless desire for more. This feeling is not a flaw of character. It is a natural human tendency. The world constantly shows us people who have more than we do. More money, more success, more recognition, and without realizing it, we begin to compare. Comparison slowly shifts our definition of success. What once seemed like a dream becomes normal, and what others have becomes our new goal. This endless cycle steals joy because the finish line keeps moving. In this chapter, we learn that the danger of never enough is not only emotional, it is also financial. Many fortunes have been lost by people who kept chasing more even after they already had enough to live beautifully. When people push beyond their limits, they often take unnecessary risks, risky trades, reckless investments, overspending, or betting everything on one opportunity. These decisions are usually not driven by need, but by ego, envy, or the fear of falling behind someone else. The tragedy is that people often lose everything not because they lacked success, but because they could not recognize when they already had enough. Enough is a powerful word. It does not mean giving up or avoiding ambition. Instead, it means recognizing the point where additional gains do not add happiness, but add stress, comparison, and risk. When you know you're enough, you become free. You stop living for the approval of others. You stop measuring your life based on someone else's achievements. You stop chasing things that do not truly matter. You become more grateful for what you have, and your decisions become wiser, calmer, and more aligned with your values. Knowing enough also protects your future. When you are not desperate for more, you make fewer risky choices. You save more. You protect your wealth instead of gambling it. You choose safety over impulse. You choose long-term stability over short-term excitement. You learn that peace is more valuable than excess. Happiness becomes easier to reach when you stop chasing endless desire and start appreciating what is already in your hands. True wealth is not measured by the size of your bank account. It is measured by the peace you feel when you can say, "I have enough." Chapter 4. Confusion of compounding. Compounding is often described as one of the most powerful forces in finance, yet most people misunderstand it. The human mind is built to think in straight lines, one step at a time, one addition at a time. But compounding does not grow in a straight line. It grows slowly, quietly, almost invisibly at first. Then, over time, it begins to accelerate. At a certain point, the growth becomes so large and so fast that it looks almost magical. This is the secret behind many of the world's greatest fortunes. Not intelligence alone, not lucky investments, but patience. The willingness to let compounding work. Warren Buffett is a perfect example of this. Most people see his enormous wealth and assume it is the result of genius-level investment skills. But if you look closely, you discover a truth far more important. Buffett started investing when he was very young, around 10 years old, and he simply never stopped. For more than 8 decades, he allowed compounding to repeat again and again. His brilliance was not only in making good decisions, it was in giving those decisions enough time to multiply. If he had started investing at age 30 or stopped early in life, his wealth would be only a fraction of what it is today. Compounding needs time, and time cannot be rushed. The problem is that most people quit too early. They want quick results. They want success fast. When their efforts do not show immediate payoff, they feel discouraged and change strategies, abandoning the slow but powerful process of compounding. This impatience is why so many fail to build long-term wealth. They underestimate the power of slow, consistent growth. Compounding also applies to more than money. Knowledge compounds when you read regularly. Health compounds when you make small daily improvements. Relationships compound when you consistently invest time and care. Success is rarely the result of one big decision. It is the result of thousands of small steps that multiply over time. This chapter teaches that greatness is not built through sudden leaps, but through steady habits repeated again and again. The confusion around compounding is simple. People expect big results immediately, but compounding only delivers big results at the end. To benefit from compounding, you must stay patient, stay consistent, and stay invested, financially, mentally, and emotionally. If you remain in the game long enough, compounding becomes unstoppable. Wealth is not a sprint. It is a slow walk that rewards those who refuse to quit. Chapter 5. Getting Wealthy vs. Staying Wealthy. Most people believe that becoming wealthy and staying wealthy are the same thing. They are not. They require completely different skills, different mindsets, and different emotional strengths. Getting wealthy often requires ambition, confidence, courage, optimism, and the willingness to take risks. People who grow their businesses or investments from nothing often need to believe in big possibilities. They must be bold, creative, and sometimes even aggressive. These traits help them climb. But the very same traits can cause their downfall if they do not shift their mindset after achieving success. Staying wealthy is about the opposite qualities. It requires humility, caution, skepticism, and fear. Yes, fear. Not fear that paralyzes you, but fear that reminds you that anything can go wrong, that the world is unpredictable, and that luck can change quickly. People who stay wealthy understand something important. Survival is more important than excitement. Protecting your wealth is more important than chasing the next big win. Most people lose money not because they are not smart, but because they do not change their behavior once they succeed. They continue taking risks, not realizing that the stakes are now higher. They assume success will continue automatically. They trust themselves too much. They forget that unexpected events can happen at any time. A bad investment, a market crash, a sudden emergency, anything can remove years of progress in a moment. Staying wealthy means building a margin of safety. It means saving more than you spend. It means diversifying your investments. It means not risking everything on one decision. It means being satisfied with enough instead of chasing more. It means protecting yourself from the unknown. The world rewards those who are prepared, not just those who are brave. The biggest financial skill is survival. Success is useless if you lose everything later. Compounding only works if you remain in the game long enough. This chapter teaches a powerful truth. You do not need extraordinary returns to become wealthy. You only need to avoid the mistakes that destroy wealth. Protect the downside, and the upside will take care of itself. Chapter 6. Tales. You tell yourself. Your financial life is shaped not by numbers alone, but by the stories you tell yourself. Every choice you make, saving, spending, investing, taking risks, is influenced by your beliefs. Your beliefs about opportunity, fear, risk, safety, success, and the future all create a personal narrative. That narrative becomes the filter through which you view the world. If your story is negative, your actions will be cautious and fearful. If your story is positive, your actions will be bold and hopeful. Your mindset becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe the world is dangerous and unpredictable, you may avoid opportunities, hoard money, or never take risks. This protects you in the short term, but limits you in the long term. If you believe the world is full of possibility, you may try new ideas, invest consistently, and remain patient during difficult times. This mindset does not guarantee success, but it creates the conditions where success becomes possible. This chapter teaches that your internal story is not fixed. You can change it. You can choose to tell yourself a story of discipline instead of fear, a story of long-term thinking instead of impatience, a story of growth instead of limitation. These stories guide your habits, and habits shape your results. A powerful story can push you to save regularly, invest consistently, avoid unnecessary spending, or continue even when progress seems slow. A weak story can cause you to quit at the first sign of difficulty. The stories you choose also affect how you handle setbacks. When your story is strong, a failure is not the end. It is simply a lesson. When your story is weak, a failure feels permanent. Successful people are not driven only by talent or intelligence. They are driven by a story that keeps them moving forward. Your financial future begins in your mind. Before you build wealth, you must build the right narrative. The story of patience, the story of small steps, the story of compounding, the story of resilience, the story of, I can do this. Your beliefs shape your actions, and your actions shape your destiny. Change your story, and you change your life. Chapter 7. Freedom. Freedom is the highest form of wealth, yet it is often the most misunderstood. Many people assume wealth is about buying luxury, showing status, or surrounding yourself with things that prove you've made it. But in truth, the richest feeling in the world is not owning something expensive. It is waking up and realizing that your day belongs to you. When you reach a point where your time is under your control, where no one dictates your schedule, where your choices are based on your values instead of your obligations, you have achieved something far more valuable than any material purchase. This chapter teaches that money, at its core, is a tool. And the most powerful thing this tool can purchase is control over your time. Imagine a day where you choose when to work, how long to rest, and which people you want to spend time with. Imagine not rushing, not begging for permission, not sacrificing your peace to survive another week. This feeling, this quiet, deep sense of autonomy, is what real wealth feels like. It is not loud. It is not flashy. It is peaceful. Most people mistakenly chase the opposite. They chase status symbols, thinking they'll bring freedom. They buy expensive cars, luxury gadgets, or big houses believing these things make life better. But often they create more pressure, more bills, more responsibilities, and less freedom. A luxury lifestyle can become a prison if it forces you to work harder just to maintain it. A simple lifestyle, managed wisely, can open doors to independence. Freedom requires preparation. You cannot achieve it overnight, and you cannot achieve it by accident. You achieve it through disciplined saving, patient investing, and smart financial choices. Every dollar saved is not just money, it is a small piece of freedom purchased. Every unnecessary expense avoided is another moment you gain in your future. When you view money this way, saving becomes exciting instead of painful. Investing becomes meaningful instead of complicated. The true goal of wealth is not to escape work forever, but to choose the kind of work that fulfills you. Work becomes meaningful when it is optional. Stress fades when you are not trapped. Happiness grows when your time becomes yours again. When you save and invest with the intention of buying your time back, life slowly shifts. You no longer feel controlled by money. Instead, money works quietly to give you power over your life. Freedom is the ultimate return on investment. It is what most people want deep down, even if they spend years chasing the wrong things. This chapter reminds you that the path to freedom is simple. Control your spending, value your time, save consistently, and build enough wealth so that life is lived on your terms. Because in the end, the richest person is the one who owns their time. Chapter 8. Man in the Car Paradox. The man in the car paradox reveals a surprising truth about human desires. People often buy expensive things because they believe those things will earn them admiration. Someone buys a luxury car expecting that others will look at them and think, "Wow, that person must be successful." But the truth is far different. When someone sees a person driving an expensive car, they rarely admire the driver. They imagine themselves driving the car. They do not think, "What an impressive person." They think, "If I had that car, I would look great." This is the paradox. People chase status, but nobody actually gives the attention they expect. The owner dreams of admiration, but the world is too busy dreaming about itself. Humans are deeply self-focused. We think about our desires, our dreams, and our lives. So when we see wealth, we imagine ourselves possessing it, not the person who actually owns it. This insight frees us from a heavy burden. Trying to impress others through wealth is a losing game. You spend money, energy, and time chasing recognition that never fully comes. The applause is shorter than you expect, and the excitement fades quickly. You buy more in hopes of feeling admired, but the feeling never lasts. It is a trap, a cycle that empties your wallet and exhausts your spirit. This chapter teaches that status-seeking wealth is fragile because it relies on other people's opinions. Opinions change. People forget quickly. What they praise today, they ignore tomorrow. Building your identity around their approval sets you up for endless dissatisfaction. True confidence comes not from impressing strangers, but from living a life that makes you proud, quietly, calmly, without needing applause. When you stop buying things to impress others, you start buying things that genuinely serve you. You invest more instead of spending more. You save instead of showing off. You focus on what brings peace instead of attention. You realize that wealth built for display disappears quickly, but wealth built for freedom lasts. The man in the car paradox reminds us that the goal of money is not admiration, it is independence, it is stability, it is calmness. It is having the ability to live according to your values instead of the expectations of others. When you shift your mindset away from impressing people and toward empowering yourself, your financial decisions become wiser, your stress decreases, and your path becomes clearer. The real success is not owning things that catch someone's eye. It is owning a life that feels good on the inside, not one that only looks good on the outside. Chapter 9. Wealth is what you don't see. Many people misunderstand what wealth looks like. They imagine wealth as big houses, fancy cars, designer clothes, and public displays of luxury, but what you see is often not wealth, it is spending. True wealth is invisible. It is the money not spent. It is the investments quietly growing. It is the emergency fund that gives you safety. It is the savings that buy you time, security, and future freedom. Wealth is built in silence, not in public. This chapter teaches that the people who look extremely rich may not be wealthy at all. They may be living paycheck to paycheck just to maintain the image of prosperity. Their bank accounts may be empty. They may be drowning in debt. Their lifestyle may be a show, but shows are expensive. On the other hand, truly wealthy people often appear ordinary. They dress simply. They drive normal cars. They avoid showing off, not because they cannot afford luxury, but because they understand that wealth grows faster when it is not spent. The problem is that society rewards appearance more than reality. People admire visible symbols of success, not the hidden habits that create it. A person with a shiny car may get praise while the person with a growing investment portfolio gets no attention. But attention does not build security. Discipline does. Wealth is the decision to delay consumption today so you can experience greater freedom tomorrow. It is built by resisting impulses, by choosing not to show off, by choosing long-term stability over momentary excitement. Every dollar you don't spend becomes a worker, a quiet soldier, fighting for your financial future. Wealth grows silently while others are sleeping. It grows while you are patient. The richest people often understand this deeply. They focus on building assets, not showing off possessions. They save heavily, invest consistently, and protect their money carefully. They understand that wealth is measured not by how much you spend, but by how much you keep. This chapter changes the way you see the world. You stop assuming that flashy people are successful. You stop judging your life by the visible achievements of others. You start valuing quiet strength over loud spending. You begin to appreciate the invisible power of savings, compound interest, and long-term planning. You learn that true wealth is not something others can see. It is something you feel through security, freedom, and peace of mind. Wealth is not the car. It is the bank account that bought the car, but chose not to. Wealth is what you don't see. Chapter 10. Save money. Saving money is one of the most important financial skills, yet it is often overlooked because it seems too simple. Many people believe wealth is created only by high income, brilliant investments, or business success. But saving money is the foundation beneath all of that. Without saving, even the highest income can collapse into nothing. With saving, even a modest income can grow into freedom. Saving is not about how much you earn. It is about how much you keep. Plenty of people with high salaries live paycheck to paycheck because their lifestyle expands as fast as their income. They buy bigger houses, more expensive cars, and luxury items to match their salary, leaving no space for security. On the other hand, many average earners build huge wealth by spending less than they earn and investing the difference. Savings is not a number. It is a behavior. This chapter teaches that saving money gives you options. It gives you flexibility. It reduces stress. It allows you to make decisions based on your values instead of your fears. When you have savings, you are not desperate. You are not trapped. You are not forced to accept jobs you hate or situations that drain your energy. Savings creates breathing room. It is the oxygen of financial life. You do not save money to buy things. You save money to buy time, security, freedom, and peace. A small savings habit can protect you from emergencies, give you confidence during uncertain times, and allow compounding to work in your favor. A person who saves steadily is always stronger than someone who spends everything, no matter how much they earn. Saving also trains your mindset. It teaches discipline. It teaches patience. It teaches you that your future self deserves just as much care as your present self. When you choose not to spend, you are making a powerful statement. I am building my life, not wasting it. Every dollar saved becomes a seed that can grow into something far larger through time and compounding. Many people avoid saving because they think life is too short to be careful. But life is also long, much longer than most people expect. The future will arrive whether you prepare for it or not. Saving is how you make that future easier instead of harder. Saving is how you build a life where financial emergencies do not destroy you, where opportunities can be taken with confidence, and where retirement becomes a choice instead of a burden. Saving money is not boring. It is empowering. It turns uncertainty into calmness, fear into confidence, and dreams into reality. It is the simplest, most reliable way to build wealth. And it is available to everyone, not just the rich. The more you save, the more control you gain. And the more control you have, the closer you come to true financial freedom. Chapter 11. Reasonable. Rational. Many people believe financial success comes from finding the perfect plan, an expert-designed blueprint filled with math, logic, charts, and precision. But life is not lived on spreadsheets. Life is lived in emotions, and emotions rarely follow mathematical rules. You may plan for the best investment strategy, but fear can cause you to sell early during a market crash. You may plan to save aggressively, but life emergencies can disrupt your plans. You may design perfect budgets, but human nature makes us crave comfort, convenience, and small pleasures. This chapter teaches that a financial plan must be reasonable, not perfect. A plan that is too strict will break the moment real life becomes stressful. But a reasonable plan, simple, flexible, and humane, can last for decades. People make decisions based on feelings, not formulas. The goal is not to become a money robot. The goal is to build a strategy that takes your emotional nature into account. For example, investing in something you don't understand might be mathematically smart but emotionally stressful. You will panic at every small change. But investing in something simple and stable, even if it earns slightly less, brings peace. And peace keeps you invested for the long term. A reasonable plan might include things like keeping extra cash because it helps you sleep better, avoiding risky investments even when they promise higher returns, or automating savings so you don't rely on willpower. A reasonable plan protects you from yourself. It recognizes that humans are inconsistent. We get tired, we get scared, we get excited, we get overwhelmed. A rational plan ignores these emotions. A reasonable plan embraces them and works around them. This is why simplicity often beats complexity. A simple rule like save a portion of every paycheck is far more powerful than a complicated algorithm you cannot follow. A simple investment strategy you understand is better than a complex one you abandon during market volatility. Consistency is the secret ingredient behind wealth. The person who sticks to a simple plan for 30 years will always outperform the person who jumps between perfect strategies every few months. Wealth grows in those who stay committed, not those who obsess over perfection. A reasonable plan is sustainable. It is realistic. It is designed for the ups and downs of real life. Being reasonable is not settling for less. It is choosing the path that leads to long-term success. In the end, the best plan is the one you can live with, not the one that looks smartest on paper. Chapter 12. Surprise. The world is unpredictable. The economy is unpredictable. Even your own life is unpredictable, and yet we plan as if we know exactly what tomorrow will look like. This chapter reminds us that unexpected events shape history more than predictable trends. Market crashes, breakthroughs in technology, pandemics, recessions, sudden opportunities, wars, innovations. All of these surprises rewrite the rules. The future is never a straight line. It is a collection of twists and turns that no one can fully predict. Because surprises are guaranteed, you must build a financial life that can survive them. Everyone expects progress to be steady, but real progress moves in shocks. People lose jobs suddenly. Investments fall without warning. Medical emergencies happen. Businesses collapse. At the same time, positive surprises also happen. Unexpected investments grow massively, new opportunities appear, and sudden breakthroughs change everything. Surprises are not rare. They are normal. The only mistake is pretending they won't happen. A wise financial strategy is built to handle chaos. This means keeping savings that can support you during emergencies. It means not investing in things you don't understand. It means avoiding debt that can crush you during difficult times. It means diversifying your investments. So one mistake doesn't destroy your future. It means staying humble because anything can change, no matter how confident you feel today. Expecting surprises makes you stronger. When things go wrong, you won't panic because you prepared for uncertainty. When things go right, you won't become arrogant because you know luck plays a part. People fail financially because they assume the future will behave like the past. But history teaches us that every decade brings events no one predicted. The key is not forecasting better. It's building resilience. A resilient person welcomes surprises with flexibility, not fear. They don't need perfect prediction. They need strong preparation. This chapter teaches that the world rewards those who can adapt, not those who claim to know the future. Build your life to withstand the unexpected, and you will thrive in a world full of surprises. Chapter 13. Room for Error. Room for error is one of the most powerful concepts in personal finance. It means giving yourself extra space, financial breathing room, so you can handle mistakes, surprises, and bad luck without collapsing. Most people underestimate how unpredictable life can be. They make plans based on perfect conditions, but perfect conditions rarely exist for long. One job loss, one medical bill, one unexpected event can destroy even the most carefully designed financial plan if it is no safety margin. This chapter explains that the biggest financial disasters occur when people operate with no margin. They spend everything they earn. They invest everything they have. They borrow money, assuming they will always be able to pay it back. They make decisions based on optimism instead of preparation. When something goes wrong, and something always eventually goes wrong, they have no backup. Without room for error, one mistake becomes a catastrophe. Room for error is about humility. It is understanding that you are not in full control. It is accepting that you cannot predict everything. It is recognizing that luck plays a role in life, both good luck and bad luck. Therefore, the smartest strategy is to create a cushion, extra savings, lower expenses, emergency funds, safer investments, and protection against worst-case scenarios. Having room for error does not weaken you. It strengthens you. It allows you to take reasonable risks without fear. It allows you to pursue opportunities without worrying about survival. It allows you to stay calm when others panic. People often admire those who take bold risks, but the most successful people quietly build safety nets behind the scenes. They protect themselves first, then pursue growth. This chapter teaches that resilience, not perfection, is the real foundation of wealth. A resilient financial plan bends, but does not break. It absorbs shocks. It adapts. It survives. And survival is the most important part of compounding. If you stay in the game long enough, your wealth will grow. Room for error keeps you in the game, no matter what life throws your way. Chapter 14. You'll change. Your goals today may feel permanent, but life has a way of transforming your dreams, your values, and the direction you want to go. What you desire at age 20 may not be what you desire at age 40. Your priorities shift. Your definition of success evolves. Your passions change. This chapter teaches that financial planning must accept one fundamental truth. You will change. Many people make mistakes by locking themselves into rigid goals. They create long-term financial plans based on who they are today, not who they will become. They force themselves into careers they no longer love. They cling to goals that no longer fit their lives. They invest emotionally in outdated dreams. This creates frustration, stress, and inner conflict. Smart financial planning allows space for evolution. It accepts that your future self might want different things, different priorities, different lifestyles, different dreams. Instead of building a rigid plan, build a flexible one. Instead of planning every detail, plan with wide boundaries. Instead of being afraid of change, prepare for it. Change is not weakness. It is growth. As you gain new experiences, your understanding deepens. You discover what truly matters to you. Your view of money shifts from wanting more to wanting meaning, from wanting success to wanting peace. Your goals become clearer with time, and your financial choices should support this natural evolution. This chapter encourages you to regularly reevaluate your goals. Ask yourself, Chakim, does this still align with who I am now? If the answer is no, give yourself permission to change direction. Financial freedom is not just about having money, it is about having the freedom to pursue a life that matches your evolving identity. Flexibility is a strength. It protects you from regret. It keeps you open to opportunity. It allows compounding not only in your money but also in your wisdom. When you embrace change, you build a financial life that adapts with you. You stop feeling trapped by past decisions. You start designing a future that fits the person you are becoming. In the end, the journey to wealth is not just about money. It is about becoming the best version of yourself. And that version will continue to evolve. Accept it. Respect it. Plan for it. Chapter 15. Nothing is free. In money, just like in life, everything has a price, even if you cannot see the bill. This chapter reminds us that nothing valuable comes without a hidden cost. The challenge is that most people only look at the rewards and ignore the price they must pay to get there. The cost of investing is enduring volatility, the emotional roller coaster of watching your investments rise and fall. Many people want the high returns of the stock market, but panic at the first downturn. They forget that volatility is the fee for long-term wealth. You don't get one without the other. The cost of success is consistent effort, long hours, and the willingness to keep going even when it feels pointless. The cost of financial freedom is discipline. The discipline to save when others spend, to plan when others drift, and to stay patient when others chase shortcuts. The cost of building wealth is time. Compounding rewards those who wait, not those who rush. Patience is not a passive act. It is an investment itself. When you recognize these hidden costs, they stop feeling like threats and start feeling like tools. You realize that volatility is not a sign something is wrong. It is the price of admission for long-term gains. Discipline stops feeling like a burden and starts feeling like the foundation of your freedom. Hard work stops feeling unfair because you understand it is the only path to meaningful achievement. Once you accept that everything has a cost, you stop searching for shortcuts and start focusing on consistency. Nothing worthwhile is free, but the rewards are almost always worth the price. When you embrace the hidden costs, you gain power. You stop fearing discomfort and start seeing it as a sign you are on the right path. The truth is simple. Wealth demands payment, either upfront through discipline or later through regret. Choose the cost that builds your future, rather than the one that steals it. Chapter 16. You and me. Money seems universal, but the way people use it is deeply personal. Two people can look at the same financial decision and see completely different meanings. This chapter highlights a powerful truth. People make different choices because they have different goals, different experiences, and different responsibilities. A young teenager with no family obligations may happily take big risks in the stock market. A parent with children may choose safe investments that protect stability. An entrepreneur may pursue bold bets in hopes of rapid growth. A retiree may prioritize steady income over high returns. None of these choices are wrong. They are simply different. People often criticize the financial behavior of others without understanding the story behind it. But the world would make more sense if we realized that everyone is playing a different financial game. Some want wealth, some want security, some want freedom, some want excitement, some want legacy. Your financial strategy must match your game, not someone else's. Comparing yourself to others is dangerous. Their goals are not your goals. Their timeline is not your timeline. Their fears, opportunities, and responsibilities are completely different. Once you accept this, you begin to respect your own path. You stop feeling insecure about what others have. You stop judging people for decisions that make sense in their world. This chapter encourages compassion for others and for yourself. When you honor your own financial needs, you make clearer decisions. When you respect others' needs, you stop wasting energy on comparison. Money is not about winning or losing. It is about building a life that matches who you are. What works for someone else may not work for you, and that is perfectly okay. True wisdom is choosing the game that fits your life and playing it well. Chapter 17. The Seduction of Pessimism. Pessimism has a strange power. When someone predicts failure or announces disaster, people listen. Negative predictions sound intelligent, careful, and realistic. Optimism, on the other hand, sounds naive. But history tells a different story. Despite wars, recessions, pandemics, and setbacks, humanity continually moves forward. Innovation continues. Economies grow. Opportunities expand. Progress is slow and uneven, but it persists. This chapter warns that pessimism is seductive because it feels safe. If you expect the worst, you protect yourself from disappointment. But living in constant negativity keeps you from seeing the possibilities that drive growth. The world advances because countless people choose optimism. Entrepreneurs who believe in new ideas, investors who believe in long-term progress, and ordinary people who believe tomorrow can be better. Optimism is not blind positivity. It does not ignore problems. Instead, optimism recognizes that setbacks are temporary and progress is long-term. Every major achievement in history came from someone who believed improvement was possible. Optimism builds resilience. It keeps you moving forward when things get difficult. It helps you stay invested when the market drops. It helps you stay motivated when life tests you. Pessimism may sound smart, but optimism is the mindset that builds a better future. Choose to believe that challenges can be overcome. Choose to believe that long-term progress outweighs short-term pain. Optimism won't remove obstacles, but it will give you the strength to climb over them. The world has always rewarded those who keep hope alive. Chapter 18. When you'll believe anything. Humans are emotional creatures, and emotions shape the stories we choose to believe. When you are scared, you believe warnings. When you are excited, you believe promises. When you feel pressure, you believe shortcuts. This chapter reveals how emotions can create illusions, stories that feel true but lead to dangerous financial decisions. During emotional moments, logic becomes blurry. People buy things they don't need when they feel stressed. Investors chase hype during market booms because excitement clouds judgment. During downturns, fear forces people to sell investments they should keep. Emotions can push you toward irrational decisions that appear logical in the moment. The key is awareness. Before making big decisions, pause. Ask yourself, is this emotion or logic? Slow down. Step back. Look at the situation through a calmer lens. Most financial mistakes happen because people react too quickly, believing a story that feels comforting or thrilling. But temporary feelings should never guide lifelong decisions. This chapter encourages you to create systems that protect you from emotional traps. Automate your savings so you don't rely on motivation. Set long-term rules for investing so fear doesn't dictate your actions. Build habits that encourage stability. When you understand your emotional triggers, you gain control. You stop believing everything your feelings tell you. You start making choices aligned with your long-term goals. In the end, emotions are not the enemy. Unexamined emotions are. Master your stories, and you master your financial destiny. Chapter 19. All Together Now. This chapter acts like the final thread that ties the entire book together. It gathers every lesson, every mindset, every warning, every insight, and weaves them into one clear path toward financial wisdom. At first glance, the formula for wealth seems simple. Save money, stay patient, spend less than you earn, avoid unnecessary risks, and let compounding work its magic over the years. But simple does not mean easy. It requires discipline, self-awareness, resilience, and the emotional strength to stick with your plan, even when it feels boring, slow, or uncertain. Housel reminds us that saving money is the foundation of everything. Savings give you flexibility, independence, and room to breathe. But saving alone is not enough. You must stay humble. Humility keeps you grounded and protects you from taking reckless risks. Patience is equally important because wealth rarely arrives quickly. It grows slowly, quietly, and almost invisibly, especially in the beginning. Avoiding debt is a sign of respect for your future self. It keeps your mind clear and your options open. Expecting surprises is essential because life rarely follows a perfect script. Markets crash, jobs change, opportunities appear suddenly, and setbacks arrive without warning. The people who win financially are those who build plans that can survive the unexpected. Long-term thinking is your greatest ally. When you focus on decades instead of days, you stop worrying about temporary setbacks and start focusing on lasting progress. Comparing yourself to others only distracts you from your own goals. Everyone has a different starting point, different responsibilities, and different dreams. The only comparison that matters is between who you are today and who you want to become. Knowing what enough means gives you peace. It stops you from chasing endless desires that can destroy your happiness. Compounding requires time, years and decades of consistent behavior. Wealth grows quietly, not loudly. It grows in the background while you live your life. And the most important habit of all is consistency. Doing the right things again and again, even when no one is watching, builds extraordinary results. In the end, the path to wealth is not a mystery. It is a collection of simple habits practiced faithfully over a long period of time. That is the true power of All Together Now. Chapter 20. Confessions. In the final chapter, Morgan Housel steps away from research, history, and examples. Instead, he speaks directly from the heart. He shares his personal financial philosophy, simple, humble, and grounded in everything he has learned over the years. His confessions are not about perfection or genius. They are about clarity and discipline. He begins by revealing that he saves a lot. Not because he earns the most, but because he values freedom. To him, money is not about showing off. It is about feeling secure, calm, and in control of his time. He saves aggressively because savings give him choices. They allow him to work on projects he loves, spend time with people who matter to him, and avoid jobs or environments that drain his spirit. His investing style is simple. He does not chase trends, pick individual stocks, or try to beat the market. He invests in broad index funds and focuses on long-term growth. He avoids debt, not because debt is always bad, but because he doesn't want to owe anyone his peace or his time. Keeping life basic is not a sacrifice for him. It is a strategy. Simplicity removes stress. It removes noise. It removes the pressure to keep up with others. His goals are long-term. He understands that wealth takes decades to build, and he chooses patience over excitement. He values freedom more than luxury. A fancy car or expensive lifestyle cannot compare to the feeling of waking up each day and choosing your own path. For him, freedom is the ultimate form of wealth. The final confession is the most powerful. Most financial success is not built on intelligence. It is built on behavior. Your ability to stay calm, stay patient, stay humble, and stay consistent. A brilliant person with poor behavior can lose everything. A normal person with steady behavior can achieve extraordinary results. Housel ends with a message of empowerment. You do not need to be a financial expert to build wealth. You only need to master your emotions, understand your values, and make choices that reflect who you want to become. In the end, behavior, not brilliance, is what shapes your financial destiny. The final motivational message, presented by HeFly Audiobooks. You do not need to be a genius to build a powerful financial future. You do not need to earn a massive income or come from privilege or perfect timing. What you truly need is far simpler and far more achievable. You need strong behavior. You need the courage to make steady choices even when progress feels slow. You need the patience to let small efforts grow into something extraordinary. You need the discipline to stay committed, even when distractions surround you. And most importantly, you need the belief that small steps, taken consistently, can change the entire direction of your life. We live in a world where people chase shortcuts, quick wins, and overnight success. But real wealth is not built in a moment. It is built in the quiet hours when no one is watching. It grows in the days when you choose stability instead of impulse, responsibility instead of comparison, and long-term vision instead of temporary excitement. It grows through calmness, through emotional control, through the ability to stay steady when others panic. These qualities are not gifts. They are habits you build over time. And once you build them, they strengthen every part of your life. HeFly Audiobooks. Inspiration for every chapter of your journey. The truth is simple but powerful. Wealth is not the result of brilliance. It is the result of behavior. It is the mindset of saying, I will grow slowly, but I will grow. It is the heart that refuses to quit. It is the spirit that understands that every wise choice plants a seed for the future. When you stay focused on the long path instead of the quick path, you create a life of freedom, peace, and purpose. This is the psychology that creates wealth. This is the mindset that builds freedom. This is the journey that can transform your life. Starting now.